Okay, we are going to begin a lesson on one-point perspective drawing. Your perspective is just your point of view. Okay, and so there are some basic parts of one-point perspective. You're going to need a piece of paper, a ruler, and a pencil with an eraser, just in case you mess up. So we're going to start with almost every part of a drawing has a horizon line. So you're going to take your ruler, and anywhere on the page, I'm going to shoot for about halfway down. You're going to draw a horizontal line across the page. Okay, this is your horizon line. Maybe you have heard people say, hey, look up over the horizon. Okay, and that's that line that divides the sky and the ground. So up above here, we're going to indicate that it's the sky by putting maybe a cloud and a sunshine. Okay, and down here, this is going to be the ground. Now, on one-point perspective, or when you're drawing it, you're going to have one point, okay, and that is called your vanishing point. And so we're going to place that point on the horizon line. And this is going to be the point where all of our depth lines disappear to. We're going to begin by connecting a ruler, lining a ruler up with a horizon line, and we're going to draw a road. Now I'd like for you to think about a couple things as you draw this. First of all, why is this road getting narrower and narrower and narrower on its way back? Okay, and the answer to that has to do with atmospheric perspective. Atmosphere is the curvature of the earth, okay, and as the world gets further away from you, items get smaller. Okay, so we could put a little person down here. He's waving, hi. And as items get closer and closer to you, they get much larger. Okay, and this guy's going, hey, how's it going? Put some clothes on, man, you're naked. All right, so it makes sense, though, just visually and from your own experience, that things closer up get bigger, things further away get smaller. Okay, and so that's why this road is disappearing to this one point back in the distance. You don't have to draw the people, but just draw the road. The next question is, why would I, with my pencil, press a little bit harder and make this line darker as it comes closer to me? In fact, I'm going to draw some grass blades here. These are grass blades really close to me. This is me right here, okay? This is you as well. I have some grass blades here. I have some grass blades down here, and I have some grass blades way back in this area. Why would the grass get bolder and taller as it comes closer to you? And the answer is the same, atmospheric perspective. Things that are closer to you are bolder and more defined. Things further away get smaller and smaller and lighter. Okay, so we have a country road and a horizon line and a vanishing point. Okay, so if I were going to divide this country road, most country roads aren't divided, but some are, I would take my ruler, line it up with my vanishing point, and I want you to do the same thing. The lines further away are nice and small. The lines closer to us get bigger. And now we're going to draw a barn over here. Okay, I'm not expecting awesome barn powers, but please have your barn sitting both on the ground and coming up into your sky a little bit. I'm not super at drawing barns. You'd think I would be because I live out in the country. Especially if I'm not looking at something, it doesn't quite look perfect. Okay, so here's the front of my barn. and I'm asking you to do the same thing. I'm erasing this line. Why? Well, obviously, because you wouldn't see it through that barn unless you had a see-through barn, and what good would that be? Everybody would know what you have in your barn. Now, I'm going to need some barn doors so people can get in and out of my barn. Okay, and I need a hay mow. Hay mow is this little opening, usually in the front of the barn. It has shutters. And that's where you put your hay. Okay, so you've got your hay bales up in the hay mow. Alright, so I want you to think about this. We are walking or driving along in this road. We see this barn over here. And if you need to pause your video and get caught up, that's fine. Okay, what is wrong with that barn? In addition to, it just doesn't look quite detailed. But there's something else that's really wrong with that barn. Okay, hopefully you have said, well, it's just flat. It's just the front of the barn. And if we were walking or driving along this road, we would also see the side of the barn. And here's where that one point, your vanishing point, comes into play. Every depth line you draw needs to go back to this vanishing point. Now you can draw the entire thing, but you sure don't need to, because that would be one heck of a long barn. Okay, so for these other points, I'm just going to draw a little bit. So I have a point there, got a point here, have a point, it always has to go to my vanishing point there, I'd have a point here. Okay, and so you can see now where my roof is going to be, where the side of my building is going to be. It all has to go to this vanishing point. It has to. You cannot just pick a random point and just start drawing. It has to go here. Then, to finish this barn, I'm going to pick an appropriate depth, make it parallel to my front line of my barn. Here's the back line of my barn. And then I'm going to finish by doing some parallel lines. So here's the front line of my roof. Here's the back line of my roof. Here's the top corner line of my roof. So here's the top corner line of that roof. And now I can erase my extra lines going back to my vanishing point. Okay. Now, I'm also going to make a little fence row. I know my littlest fence is going to be over here. My biggest fence is going to be somewhere over here. Okay. Actually, I made that a little bit big. I'm going to just take this line. You can hear my nephew out there. I'm still playing. Don't go away. Wow, that's totally not in the right spot. Okay, so then I could have a fence right here. I could have a fence right here. A fence right here. A fence right here. Fence right here. Fence right here. Going way back. Okay, and then I can add some crisscross lines. I just X'd that guy out. Okay, and then that keeps my pigs in, if I had pigs over here. What I'd like for you to do for this little worksheet is go ahead and draw the barn, draw the road, and if you want to, you can try a fence, or you could try telephone poles. I've got those on my road. Telephone poles, you give yourself a bottom line and a top line where they're going to be. They're actually a little easier, I think, than fences. And you would draw them skinny at the back, fat in the front, use a ruler, of course I didn't, and then connect with the wires. Okay, So fence or telephone poles, road, and a barn at the very minimum, horizon line vanishing point, and you're going to send me a picture of that or bring it to me if you're in class for your first grade.